Hello, my name is Ilona and today it's Monday, February 13th, 2023. And I just want to start with something that happened here in the Dutch media yesterday on Sunday. There is a TV program called Business Class. And we had a writer he's also been writing columns in a certain newspaper, very interesting one about stings and things like that. But he mentioned, his name is Leon de Winter. He actually mentioned that he is against digital currencies, especially if they are created by the government and by the banks. And he mentioned that you'll have a budget, and if you, surpass your budget, you won't be able to fly anymore. You won't be able to maybe even get wine, things like that. So it was very interesting that this was mentioned on Dutch television, on mainstream media, that they were talking about this digital currency. And he really mentioned they are going to limit us, regulate us, and they're going to take away our freedoms. So it's very interesting that this was being discussed. And I see this as a very good thing that is happening on the Dutch media. Another thing I wanted to mention was the Ohio train derailment. I didn't hear a lot about it, but today I saw a lot of messages about it. This happened apparently February 10th, and animals are falling sick and dying near the site of the Ohio train derailment last Friday, which released a lot of awful things into the air, sparking fears of the potential health impacts the crash could have on humans. And they're kind of just avoiding that apparently in the American media. They are talking about it, but they are not mentioning the health risks for the animals, for the environment, and of course for people living there. Because they are all focused on these balloons, these UFOs. Apparently another object was found around Montana, if I'm not mistaken, in Canada. They shot an object out of the sky, and it's in Alaska. It's very interesting. In Uruguay, apparently they're investigating flashing lights in the sky. And there is a lot of mention here. Other pilots saying that when they looked at the object, they could not identify no identifiable propulsion system, and they did not know how it was actually staying in the air, cruising at that altitude. Well, this sounds like Project Bluebeam to me. And of course, Project Bluebeam, I think a lot of people will know what I'm talking about, is about this invasion from aliens, to shock the world and to take over, because that's what this is all about. So everyone will be so frightened and scared that they will accept this great reset by, of course, Klaus and his minions. Of course, the people above him, because also Klaus is just a puppet. But this is really about scaring people that much. To me, it always felt like, I'm not sure if they still have enough military control to do that, because that will take a lot. And I also saw this morning a message from Storm Rider. I shared it, and this was about the project, and let's see how long they will run this story. Right now, a certain agency is running numbers and risk assessment factors inside super quantum computers to see if the current thing about these balloons and UFOs, if people will fall for it. And if they do, they will most likely start Operation Bluebeam. So I wanted to take a look at that. I wanted to see what the energies were about this project. To me, like I've mentioned before, it feels like, I'm not sure if they're still capable of doing that on a global scale. So we have Justice as the card above. We have the Eight of Swords for the central card. We have the Emperor in the past. We have the King of Cups underneath the Eight of Swords. And we have the Three of Pentacles for the future, near future, and the Hanged Man. So this feels to me they're really working through things, seeing if it will work, if people will believe it or not, but it's still in a standstill. They are not certain if they're going to do that or not. And especially in the situation they are in. So they feel, this feels like powerless. They are not sure how to do this. And like I've mentioned, I think they're missing a big part of the military to pull this off. There are, of course, white hat military, and there are still some dark hat military as well, but they're dwindling and they're losing money. So I'm not sure how they're going to finance this. They can still try it. To me, they are still deciding whether they're going to do it or not. It's in a standstill. They're not sure if they're going to do this or not. I believe they are checking. So I do believe the message from Stormrider that they are checking things. They're seeing if it will work or not. So the emphasis is now on bringing this about. But to me, it also feels like I think they should have planned this better. There were a lot of people who, for a long time, they did not mention anything about UFOs. They've been pushing it aside, ridiculing anyone mentioning this. Oh, it's not true. It's nonsense. And I think that's actually going to cost them now, because there are a lot of people that really don't believe in that. A large number of humanity is really not concerned about this. And I'm not sure if they're really going to be able to, have people believe in it, because they also need the energy to create this. It's a co-creation with humanity. So if a lot of humanity is like, nah, don't think so, it's not really going to happen. And like I've mentioned before, they've lost a lot of resources. So I don't think they're capable of doing it. I do believe that if they are going to bring in this project, that very soon all kinds of whistleblowers will pop up that infiltrated their ranks, and that people will see what's really going on and who's really behind it. That's what happened with that rocket from the Ukraine, where they said, well, that was Russia. And of course, within a day, that was completely debunked, and that it was actually from the Ukraine themselves. It's with the pipelines. They were also trying to, say that was Russia behind this. But now a lot of things are coming up, of course, that the USA is behind this, the pipelines and the blowing up of the pipelines. So things are going to come out. So I don't see it happening right now. They're still working on it. I do believe they're seeing if people are going to, fall for it or not. But if they do, it's going to collapse very, almost immediately. Wouldn't surprise me at all if they try to come out with this, and then, people will just pop out and things will come out. Ultimately, what's really going on and what's the truth behind this. So that's the energy I got from Project Bluebeam. I also looked at the energy of this week. Very interesting. We have the 9 of Pentacles, the 3 of Wands, and the 10 of Wands. And I have this feeling that there's really a split between people right now in humanity. We have people that are becoming more aware, more independent, understanding, if something happens that's concerning aliens, they are not going to be that afraid about it. They already are aware of it. These are the people that are aware that something's going to happen, something's going to come, some kind of false flag is most likely going to happen. And then, of course, we have the people that have really no clue what they're doing. And I also have a feeling that the dark energy is kind of following this line now, because they are losing their narrative. That's especially with this card, the 8 of Swords. They're stuck. It's like they're powerless in a way. They can still do things. I do believe that the derailment of the train has dark energies to it. It's an awful situation. So they can still cause damage and chaos, but not at the scale that they once had, or the opportunity that they once had. So, and of course, there are a lot of people that have no clue what's going on. So this is all frightening. Things are coming out about the Stings. We have things about Mr. B coming out. We have so many things that the dark energies want us not to look at. That's why they're talking about all these things in the sky. You have to look up, so you have no idea what's going on down below. So this feels like a part of humanity that still hasn't got a clue what's going on. The energy will feel heavy. Maybe even people that were aware, but I kind of gave up hope that things will change. The energy will feel heavier for them this week. And I think a part of humanity is just becoming more and more independent, more understanding what is going on. And they have like this wait and see. I think it's very important, this wait and see attitude. Why don't we just wait and see what's going to happen? I'm not sure if they want to start with this project, if it's going to happen this week. I don't think so. I think they still need to see if everything's going to work out, but we'll have to wait and see what's going to happen this week. So part of humanity is prepared, and part of humanity is kind of running around like a chicken without a head. And I include the dark energies with them as well, because I don't think they have a clue what to do anymore. They have a few things still up their sleeve, but it's just falling apart. The advice I got for this week is the Ace of Swords. We've got the Devil card, and we have the Two of Wands. So to me, this feels like truthful, be as truthful as possible, but especially be honest towards yourself, especially with the Devil card. This is about seeing where you still give away your power. What is still controlling you? Who do you let control your life? And not just organizations, governments, or people in your environment, but maybe there are convictions you still hold on to, belief systems that are suppressing you in a way, or just maybe even people you live with. Very important to see, because that's what you can see it. They have this chain around their neck. So it's very important to let go of those things, to step out of this indecision. It's very important that we make decisions and we start to be truthful towards ourselves and be honest with ourselves. What is still having a hold on ourselves? Maybe there are a certain behavior, maybe it's a certain way that we treat ourselves. Just look at things now and really deal with it. I do believe that this week will be quite things popping up, especially in the energy. Really work with that and be honest, so you can make true decision from yourself, from your energy inside of yourself. Especially with the Ace of Swords, it's about being truthful, people around you, being honest, being assertive, really speaking your truth. But being honest with yourself is really the basis of everything. If you cannot be honest with yourself, you won't be able to really grow. It's about looking at yourself. Okay, am I holding on to some things? Am I still believing that other people's opinions are more important than my own opinion? Am I still looking for, reassurance around myself? Or someone has to agree with me before I'll be able to open my mouth or say something? It's very important to be as honest as possible, so you can make true decisions and really deal with things. Shadow work. I do think this week will be very important to work with your shadow and things that will come up. So this is the energy I have for this coming week. Hope to see you in another video. Bye.